Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Design Syndicate Battle Results Show. Some thought we might not get here, but here we are. Joining me today, we have the co-host and producer of the Sounded Good podcast, which can be found at the Sounded Good website, which I will just throw into chat right now, Mr. J. Ray Gunn.
Hey, everybody.
And the man who allowed this all to happen, the man, the myth, the legend, the original entity, Victory Lane Sports.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for having me.
So, I think before we get into the results and to just build their suspense somewhat, we should have a bit of a rewind and look at how this contest came to be and how we got to right now. So, Eric, if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be great.
Sure, absolutely. So there's a little bit of history with this contest. It's not a TGCTours design contest per se, although all of the members of the syndicates are upstanding and good members of TGCTours. For the most part, I believe all of them even play on tour, but they all design on tour. So we just wanted to give a little bit of background as to how this came about, just so that there's understanding within the community and those watching the VOD. How we are involved, how Ameobi and J Ray got involved, and where we're at moving forward. So I was approached by a member of the Facebook gaming community a few months ago saying that he would like to offer up a prize for a design syndicate battle that he had started privately outside of TGCTours on the Facebook gaming forum that he had. And since I am the staff member on TGCTours that's responsible for all of the design contest details, he reached out to me and asked if the winner of his design syndicate battle could be guaranteed a spot on Dream Team at TGCTours next year. And actually, he had named his contest Dream Team, the Facebook Dream Team battle. And I said that I would talk to that. You know, I'm overseeing all of the organization of the contests at TGCTours, but I have contest directors that run each individual event, and so I would need to check with that person. Because Dream Team is a drafted event at TGCTours, guaranteeing a spot puts one of the captains in a difficult position, and so we weren't able to offer that prize. And so through a little bit of back and forth, we ended up deciding that we would offer a prize of a guaranteed entry into the challenge circuit design contest, which has just started running here on TGCTours over the summer. Anyway, we get that settled and worked out, and then the individual wasn't able to continue running the Facebook Dream Team contest, and it was looking like it was going to die off. I knew not all. I knew some of the designers involved in the Facebook Dream Team battle, and some had reached out to me and asked, "Is there any way that you'd be willing to help continue this on?" And so, looking at the whips that have been started and just understanding how much work was starting to be put in by these designers, I threw myself out there and said, "Yeah, I'll make sure this gets to the finish." And we'll figure out the details. So I worked with each captain. We started working out the details. We put something together, and all of the designers thankfully wanted to stay involved. And I think you'll see today that we're all glad that they did. But I requested a few things. Number one, that the name of the contest be changed from Dream Team, since that's a TGCTours thing. And so we renamed it Design Syndicate Battle, which I think is perfectly fair. And then that we would just be able to involve a couple other people. And so I brought in Wayne and J Ray was suggested, and I thought that was a great idea, so that we could have more than just me picking a course, right? I don't want it to seem like I'm playing favorites or anything like that. So we needed a good judging panel, and we got that. And obviously Wayne and J Ray are just phenomenal when it comes to streaming and graphics and all of the stuff that we needed on that front. So it really worked out well to bring them in and see this thing to the finish. So that's kind of where we're at. You'll see in a little bit that the only other change is that the winner of the Design Syndicate battle, as far as the individual course winner, does not get a guaranteed spot in the CC contest on TGCTours, only because everyone got a spot on the CC contest that Matt Fritsch is running. And so we'll make a slight adjustment on the grand prize for this contest, but that's okay. There will still be a grand prize. And I think it's a very good grand prize. So we'll reveal that later. Lots of stuff to look forward to. But that's the background. If anyone has any questions, please, I would prefer if we can keep this positive in the community. There is nothing about the Barbarian design group, golf design group, or the Greenskeepers collective that had anything to do with pushing this forward or trying to elevate themselves into higher position or anything like that. This was all me, and I don't mean all me from a credit standpoint. What I mean by that is it's all me wanting them to have an avenue to finish their courses, right? Not wasting time on what they had started with another contest. And I found it valuable for them to have an opportunity to be able to finish this. So this is kind of a standalone thing. We wanted to see it through to the finish, and they all did such a great job. And it's, I don't want to see any negativity or anyone blaming them for getting something special. This is just the right thing to do because we are a huge and growing design community that I think everyone should be welcome to be a part of and be accepted into. And so here we are. So enough of me talking. Wayne and J. Ray have an awesome show prepared for you guys. I'll chime in when necessary, but let's make this about these 12 phenomenal courses, shall we?
Absolutely. Do you have any thoughts before we get kicked off here, J. Ray?
My only thought, top of it, is I need to know what order we're doing the matchups in. I'd like to get predictions into the chat for each matchup.
Okay.
If you want to whisper that to me or just send it over the Discord, we can do that because I think that'd be a good way to involve chat as we go through here. The only other thing I can say is, with TGC design contests, especially the major ones that you have, the World Cup and such, you kind of have an idea about what to expect, especially with the top designers that are in there. And I say top not because, they're worlds away from everyone, but they are the ones that are getting the most courses out there, and they have a body of work that is recognized. But you kind of recognize what is going to come out of those. I didn't know what we were going to get out of the Design Syndicate battle. There were a few designers that I am familiar with, but there were a lot that I hadn't played their courses and didn't really know what they were capable of. And I was pleasantly surprised playing all 12 of these that there really wasn't a bad one in the bunch. There wasn't one that you get in and start wondering why they're even involved in a contest. I think each person that was involved in this contest deserved their place in the contest and deserved to be put up with the rest of them and put into discussion for the best course.
Absolutely. Oh, sorry, Charlie. I was giving J. Ray what he asked for. I apologize for that.
Well said. Yeah, and that was Mrs. Lane as well. She asked me a question. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Well, Mrs. Lane's fantastic, so she's allowed to do that.
I agree.
Okay, here we go. The format for today's show and for the contest as a whole. There were 6 courses per team. Each course was judged by the 3 judges, myself, Victory, and J-Ray, based on 5 categories, each receiving a score out of 50. The first category was the playability and shot values. So basically, how did the course play? What strategy was it? Were you on autopilot? Were you required to think about how you were going to play the hole, how you were going to attack it? Were good shots rewarded? Were poor shots penalized? Stuff like that. Second was technical execution. So we're talking sculpting, surfacing, sizing, planting, the kind of the fundamentals of building a course. Then we're looking at aesthetic continuity and appeal. So now we're looking at kind of more the eye candy, the looks. Did everything fit? Did it look good? Is it something that made you want to keep playing? We got into the routing and the flow. Did the routing make sense? So an example of a routing that would not have made sense, which would be if every single hole was downhill. Clearly your routing has got some issues because if you go downhill, you got to come back up. And then the flow. Did the flow make sense? Did you have little clusters of holes that worked well together? Did you have maybe you had a couple of easier holes and then a difficult hole, or did you have like a couple of like holes kind of around a particular object that made sense, things like that. And then the final one was just immersiveness and enjoyability. So really, did you enjoy playing it, and kind of did you feel like you were there, right? Did you, when you looked at the course, did you feel like, yeah, okay, I could see myself being here, and almost kind of forget that you're playing a video game? That's kind of how I looked at it. So taking those scores from those categories, each course received a total score out of 250. And we used those scores to then come up with each match result. I'm not planning on releasing each course's individual score. There's a lot of subjectivity to it, and we kind of looked at it a little differently. And quite honestly, what score we gave, the scale was the same, so it didn't really matter. It's a bit arbitrary. So I'm just gonna let you know who won. Sorry, go ahead.
I will say, Wayne, if anybody in this contest wants to reach out to me, Discord, Twitter, chat, whatever, and wants to know individually my notes on their course, if they want to know their score, they can have their score as well. It's like Wayne just said, the individual scores are from each of us are kind of scaled in comparison with the other scores. So I'm not going to share with you anybody else's score, but I will share with you your score, knowing that it's based on a scale with others, so it may not mean anything to you individually. But if you want your particular notes on what I had, I'll be happy to share those with you.
Yeah. So
and if I can break in just for 1 second, just to say that what was interesting is that although our relative scales were different out of 250, and each of those five categories were worth 50 points, once we aligned them, the graph would look the same. In other words, the score, we all really scored each matchup relatively similar, even if my overall score was 20 points more, let's say, than J Ray's score or Ameobi's score. It's still, the result was ultimately the same, and so those relative scores were just what helped us get to our own personal subjective results. So this is a unanimous vote in terms of these results. But yeah, with what J Ray said, if anybody wants their individual feedback, feel free to reach out to any three of us for your own individual feedback.
Yeah, and as anybody who's been watching my stream knows, I've created videos for all of you guys. It's just occurred to me I have about 60 gigs worth of stuff to upload somewhere, but I'll make sure that happens so that you can have access to that. That'll be my judging notes for you. I know J Ray has notes, and I imagine Victory does too. He's experienced this kind of stuff.
I mean, you deserve a lot of credit, Wayne, because you also did playthroughs, video playthroughs, just for your stream, your normal weekly stream, and we advertised those, and you were very unbiased in your approach to at least showing off the courses, as you do for a lot of courses in the community, without giving away any of the internal thoughts that we were discussing behind the scenes. So that's hard to do, and you deserve a lot of credit for that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Apparently, I did it to the point of annoyance for some people because they wanted to try to get something out of me.
Of course they do. They want to know. They're ready for today.
For sure.
Watching Wayne's eyebrows at all times.
Yeah, they move pretty good. Hey, Andre. And hi to everybody. There's so many of you guys in here, which is fantastic. I appreciate that. I apologize in advance. I'm not going to say hi to everyone. I could have done with the Mickelson stuff, though. Anyways. Continuing with the format, 6 singles matches. The winner of each match gets 25 points for their team. The loser gets 10 points for their team. Hi, Trail Ducker. How are you? And then we took each team's scores, added them all up, divided them by 6 for each judge's average score for their team. And then we took each judge's scores and averaged those. So we got an average score for each team's courses.
What?
And
show me the math on that one. Show me the calculations.
You did it.
Yeah, you don't need to see it. You did it.
So
I I wanted to interject here again too, because I know I love to talk too much, but
We all do.
people might be saying right now, wait a minute. So then, if the team that wins the individual points is guaranteed to win the overall, that's not necessarily true. If you look at real world examples, you can have two courses where one beats the other course. So the one gets 25 points, the other gets 10, but that doesn't mean their scores out of 250, once averaged in with everyone else, aren't lower. Let's say the winning team or the winning course of that individual matchup, if that course had been matched up against other courses, it might have lost and gotten 10 points. So you really don't know how that math works out unless you look at all of it together.
Yeah, and so the basic in English, the total that the absolute maximum score any team could have gotten would have been winning all 6 matches, which would get you 150 points, and then having 6 courses each receiving a perfect 250 points, which would give you 400. That's so.
And that didn't happen.
No, it did not. And then if you had if let's say you only had 2 courses and one got a score of 100 and the other got a score of 200, 100 and 200, then that team's course score would have been 150 because it's the average of each course's score. Okay, and then that gets added to how many points were accrued in the singles matches because it was a team battle. And as Eric mentioned, it was, and so I think something else is important to mention is the captains all wrote down their 6 courses 1 through 6, gave them to Eric, and exactly like the Ryder Cup, had no idea which course was going against who. They just said, here's my order 1 through 6. 1 played 1, 2 played 2, 3 played 3. So it's possible that, yeah, there's some courses that, had they gotten a different matchup, might have had a different result. And so the idea behind the overall average was to kind of take that into account.
Yeah. Yeah, great point. Enough with the math. I know I bored you to death with that, but suffice it to say that each judge, the highest team average differential was 9 points.
Yeah.
Between us. So yeah.
So we did all right. Shockingly, the highest total will win. I know that might come as a surprise to you guys, but that's how we're going to do this one. The winning team's courses are going to be featured on Is It Though at twitch.tv/VictoryLaneSports. That runs Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You're not doing it this week though, right, Eric?
No, May 31st episode. That's correct.
Right. And Victory will let you know when he's going to be starting to have the Design Syndicate courses on there. And it's Victory Lane Sports playing Leech Fox in basically hilarious battle golf, different formats each week, but each format promises 4 shots you have never seen before in the game.
I can guarantee that.
So it's good fun. And then this is the exciting part for me. The designer of the course who has the highest overall score is going to win a Matt F. water painting of their favorite hole of their course, and their course will host the next TGC Tours promotion event.
Boom.
So I think I'll just drop the mic here.
Air horn.
Just drop the mic right here.
The mic. Drop the mic. Pays to know people. So I got to give a shout out to my boy Catcherman22, Dan, great guy. When Wayne and J Ray and I realized that getting into the CC contest was guaranteed for everybody, we knew that the individual winner needed a backup plan, and so we went right to TGC Tours scheduler, Catcherman22, and he helped us out with saying that the individual winner will get to host the next promo event on TGC Tours, and our boy Matt F27 will paint a 8.5 by 11 watercolor of your favorite hole on your course.
Very, very cool prize.
You might even sign it.
Oh,
he better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll sell it.
Wayne,
Yeah.
One thing you forgot to mention is that at the end of the competition, Dumbledore reserves the right to award arbitrary points to anyone outside of the competition for things like battling trolls, standing up to your friends,
What are you
No one
talking
gets Harry
about?
Potter jokes. No
No.
one. Is everyone in here too old for Harry Potter jokes?
I have no clue what
come
Harry
on.
Potter is.
Oh my God, you have a 10-year-old daughter.
Yeah, and,
Wayne, what are you teaching
I
her?
have an 8-year-old daughter. She's not 10 yet.
Sorry, 8. Well,
And she
Speaking of nerd alert,
yeah, no kidding. Okay.
All right, on the next episode of our podcast, we're going deep diving into the Harry Potter universe.
Are we though?
I might skip that episode.
Yeah, I might too. You'll be hosting that one on your own, son. All right, so that's our format. Let's get into what you guys are here for. Harry Pooper, there you go. Match 1. The Battle of the Mountains. We've got Catoctin, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Catoctin Mountain Park against Infinity Mountain Resort. Really interesting matchup here. You had Letterkenny on the podcast. Ryan, my nephew's here. You had a mountain course that very much was mountainy in that it was very hilly, and then you had another mountain course that would played a lot more, a lot flatter, I would say. Both good in their own rights. Any thoughts from you guys?
Jay?
Give me just a second here.
good
One
talk.
of you guys
I'll
go
go
Good
first.
talk.
Okay.
Yeah, one of you guys go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Yeah. Enjoyed both of them very much. I could tell right from the first tee at Catoctin Mountain that the theme that Alan had chosen here was going to be really refined, almost like a country club in the mountains. Planting was really well done. It was all tied together really well, and it just was a really comfortable. I thought a really comfortable and clean round of golf all the way through, and a lot of really neat planting areas that I enjoyed on Catoctin. Strategically, difficult course. Had to watch your center lines quite a bit, and yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really refined project.
Don't go on the
Infinity
rough.
Mountain, almost a totally different course for me. It was a reversible routing. Now, we only judged the routing that was put forth for the competition, so we did not consider the I think it was Loop B or Loop A or whichever loop was not considered for the contest.
Yeah, Loop A was the contest.
Yeah, so we did not consider anything from going in that direction. After the judging was done, I think we all played it just to see what it was like, but did not consider that. But totally committed to his environment at the resort. I thought that was a huge win for him. It was really wide open. Didn't feel as tight as Catoctin. So when you played them back to back, they had a pretty different feel. Yeah, I mean, just a fun round of golf that you kind of had to think through differently based on the fact that you had so much room to work with.
Yeah, for sure. J Ray?
Yeah, started the first course that we played. I mean, I kind of went, matchup by matchup, and so the first course that I played out of the bat was Catoctin, and really liked the look of it. I mean, it had a very cohesive environment to it. It had strategic golf involved. Both courses did. There were hole designs that you had to think about. It wasn't just grip it and rip it off of every tee box, which I appreciated and helped keep the interest going throughout the rounds. Two, even though, they share a word in the name, two very different playing courses. Infinity Mountain, because of its nature of being a reversible course, a lot of holes played a lot more open, and it gave you different avenues of entry into the greens that may or may not have been intended, simply because it can play in a different direction going back. And so there was some accidental strategy with that one as well, or maybe not accidental, but you could kind of discover it on your own, which was another cool element of those courses. But I thought it was a great matchup to kick off.
Yeah, me too. I did hole out for Eagle on Catoctin in my judges review playthrough video that Alan will be getting. I promise you that did not factor in my judging. So, what do you guys have? Who do you guys have for this? I've been seeing kind of a split so far in chat. The
prediction right now has a 34% for Catoctin to a 66 for Infinity.
Okay. Well, here are the results. Receiving 2 judges' votes was Catoctin. 1 vote for Infinity. Catoctin won this match 2-1. That brings our current score right now to 25-10 for Barbarians.
Yeah, that was a tough one, very close.
Congratulations.
We did kind of go back and forth on this one too.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny, and it bears mentioning that in the matchups where there may have been a split vote, where it was 2-1 or something like that, it was different judges that were the outlier for each of these matchups. It was never like the same one that just had a completely different opinion about courses than the others. And so it was interesting when we all had to compile our scores to see where those differences of opinions were. And you were always in agreement with a different judge on the different matchups, which was fun.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I noticed that too. That was interesting. So yeah, it's not like we had one rogue judge or anything. We bounced around quite a lot. Match 2.
This one was close. We had some really good debates on that first matchup with the mountains. Yeah, it was a lot of debate on that one.
Yeah.
Hold on, Wayne, while I get the prediction set up.
Well, we're not going to show it just yet. Match 2 is Las Torres del Mar against Adora Trails. Another interesting matchup. I felt like, again, I don't know that I had a single match where I was like, okay, yeah, this is obviously the one that wins. These both required a couple of plays through for me to really get a sense of what was happening and kind of what my feel was, and almost which one I liked better.
Yeah, and it was really at this point that I got a sense, because I played them in order as well. I actually waited for all 12 to come out before I even started my judging. And I stayed off the threads and stayed off the whip threads and things like that for the most part. I just tried to really separate myself from that. And so what I noticed was I started with Catoctin Mountain, played Infinity, then Lost Torres, then Adora, and then obviously then repeats. But played them in that order. And it was at this point where I was really starting to get very proud of the commitment to golfing experience, environment, overall playability and aesthetics of all of these courses. And I was like getting really excited for this, the ones that were still to come after this as well, the other 8. So yeah, this was a really close matchup. Huge commitment to the environments for both of them.
For sure.
And I mean, just kudos to both, really.
Any thoughts, J-Ray?
Yeah, I really got nothing to add over that. This was kind of the first matchup where you started seeing some differences in stark differences in the courses that you were going to be playing. And so one thing to understand is that this contest was never a setup as like a head-to-head. Like, we didn't have to choose Las Torres over Adora. These were scored, at least on my part, in a vacuum.
Right. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. I was like, what?
Where, I played each course itself. I scored each course by itself. And then when I put the scores together, that's when I found out who won that matchup. I didn't go, like, I maybe played Las Torres first, but I didn't go into it saying, okay, now Adora's got to beat this and kind of judge it from that look. I definitely tried to play each course as it was and then kind of surprise myself with the scores at the end.
Yeah, and I kind of did a hybrid of it. I went through and I scored it, but then I went and looked because I had an idea of which one I thought should win, and then I made sure that my scores reflected that. But sometimes it did surprise me, and it made me go play again to think, hang on. And I tried to play both of them at the same time as well, so I'd be in the same frame of mind. But yeah, very different environments here, so it was tough. What's the chat saying, J-Ray? What's prediction saying right now?
Predictions at 3% for Las Torres, 97% for Adora.
Wow. Okay. Well, the result was...
Out of how many people? 2?
3%, and you're getting a bunch of points.
Oh wait, no. Is that just 3% of the bet? Maybe it is, because it looks like it's okay. It's 5 for Los Torres and 3 for Adora Trails, but Los Torres only has 250 Moby bucks put on it. You guys need to dig into your pockets a little bit.
No kidding. You guys have tons. Anyways, it was Los Torres Del Mar again, 2-1. So now we stand at 50-20 for Barbarian. Hi, Axel. Welcome, new person. You can really spend some points now, buddy, because we've got some predictions on each of these. 5 votes, 3. Okay. So, through 2, 50-20 for Barbarian, sorry. Match 3. This was one of there was 2 matches in particular where I went, oh boy. This was one of them. You have the tropical kind of resort, very clean, very immersive in the fact you feel like you're on an island playing golf on vacation. And then you have Remanent, which is one of the most unique courses I think I have ever seen. Where you're going back 200 years, and no, I was not alive then, you rotten buggers. But you're going back 200 years. The off-course stuff was just outrageous. You went as far as putting a gallows in there, which was great. There was just so much about it, but Honu as well was just such a good, clean golf experience. I struggled with this matchup.
Yeah. So I'm with you. These were because very similar to what J Ray said. I because it's a team competition as well. Scored every course individually because I knew that mattered to the team, and then kind of matched them up with their matchups as well, and thought, okay, what do we have? And when I looked at my scores for these 2 courses, they were literally within 5 points. We're scoring on 250 total points, and these 2 courses were within 5 points of each other. And I'm like, okay, I need to really dig in here and make sure I'm seeing things correctly and making the right call. And so we did. We talked about these as judges. We looked at them thoroughly. This was a hard one, and both designers should be so proud of these courses. And it was really minor things that became the difference in winning this match.
For sure. J-Ray?
For me, number one, these 2 courses on my judging score sheet were the 2 highest scoring for me. They weren't the closest matchup, and we'll know a little while later, but they were the 2 highest scoring. And for my money, they were also the 2 environments that I felt were the most immersive. I mean, they were totally realized from hole 1 to hole 18. And, it also, speaks some volumes that I believe that Remanent 1824 is already scheduled for plat play a little later.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks from now, maybe. So congratulations for that, even outside of the competition itself. But it was tough, but it was fun looking at these, because this was one where I actually did have to go back and play both of them again because my final scores were so close. And just like you, Wayne, I wanted to make sure that whoever I put on top, I did so with a reason. I want to be able to justify each of my wins. And again, congratulations to both of them. These were my 2 highest scoring. Remanent, probably my favorite course in the contest, but congratulations to both of them.
Yeah, I think these were the 2 I played the most because I was just trying to figure out which one am I putting ahead of the other. And so, chat, what do you think in here?
We've got a 6-4 vote for Honu over Remanent.
Okay. Well, when everything was tabulated, we ended up with Remanent got 2, Honu got 1. So, Greenskeepers is on the board now. Current score, Barbarians 60, Greenskeeper Collective 45. Tough matchup. Amazing that those 2 ended up against each other, quite frankly.
Yeah. And what I'm seeing so far is that we're not very good judges because the chat has disagreed with us 3 out of 3 times so far.
Or maybe chat's not very good judges.
Or chat's not very good at judging.
You can't leave this up to groupthink. You know how that turns out.
Oh,
all right.
No, these courses are just all 12 of them. But when you start matching them up, and like I said, it was Ryder Cup style, like Ameobi was talking about earlier. It's all about the luck of the draw. So this matchup just happened to be 2 courses got paired against each other, and man, was it tough.
Yeah, it was. Okay, justice for Hallstone.
No.
All right, match 4, Lovers Pond against Hardstone. Again, difficult for me to determine between these two. You had Lovers Pond kind of felt more like a tournament course to me. Hardstone was a little bit more gritty, I would say. Eric?
Yeah, we I don't think we agreed on this matchup as much as some of the other matchups even. And we came to an agreement at the end through a bit more discussion and really thinking through things. But ultimately for me, I guess I'll give my personal take on it a little bit. I loved Hardstone. And not to say I didn't really enjoy Lover's Pond, but once I got to kind of looking deeply at each one, there was something magical about Hardstone for me that I really enjoyed, and that's just a subjective personal opinion. And Lover's Pond was just good all the way around, and yet there were some things on it that I left scratching my head on, and so that to me was what made the difference in this matchup.
J-Ray?
Yeah, I thought Lover's Pond had one of the most unique holes out of any of the courses in the competition with the final number 18.
Yeah.
You had kind of the island green separated away. I believe it was a par 4.
It was par 5.
Par 5. Okay.
Yeah.
But a long par 5, and if you hit a good drive, you're left with a long iron into an island green, which is surrounded by stadium seating, and it's one of those that because of its environment, because you've set it up as this showcase hole, you are, as a video game player, tempted to go for it. You're like, I gotta make this virtual crowd cheer my name,
right?
And it was, I thought it was maybe a little out of place with the rest of the course, but I loved the hole itself and what it made me think about doing. I mean, it's making me want to go for something in a virtual golf world that I know in real life I would chicken out and never try. But that's what you want. You want your golf course to invoke those kind of emotions from people playing it, and not just blindly shooting scores. So I thought Lover's Pond did a great job of using its environment to make the golf engaging.
Yeah,
Hardstone, I'm with you, Eric. Hardstone I thought was a great course all around, and also had some unique environmental features. I mean, it had rocks along the fairway that they were pretty much out of play, but you had to be careful because there were some times that you could hit a wayward shot. Now you got to deal with maybe bounces off of rocks, or you're up against a rock, things like that. So there were some strategic design elements in both of them for definitely.
I'm pretty sure I hit a rock at Hardstone, actually. That was my own poor play.
How would you not?
Yeah. And yeah, again, echoing the 18 at Lover's Pond, I think that might have been the most, one of the most memorable holes in the contest. And J-Ray's right, you can't lay up. The fans are not there to watch you lay up. So
yeah, but that's where, and we'll get to that in our judging notes and stuff with you, Sean,
yeah.
but that, zone, sorry. But that's where there was a little bit of, love the concept, needed to be just slightly adjusted. Every time I went for that in 2, I hit the green and bounced over into the water. And so there was just, it just needed to be adjusted a little bit to be a perfect hole.
Yeah, I yanked mine in the water too.
We've seen you play on Monday nights. We know what you're capable of. And
fair point.
Oh, that's
I think
true.
you're going over every time.
That's true too.
That's the fair point. Okay, so I think we might have given this one away, but it was Hardstone 3-0 on this one.
Chat split 4-4.
Oh, well, we weren't. But yeah, again, and it's not like, I mean, the 3-0 makes it look like this was an easy, sweep. It wasn't. There was some serious discussion between us, and it was not 3-0 at first. That's what I will say.
Right. Yeah.
So we're tied.
Yeah, Zone. Don't definitely don't be upset about it. I know it's hard to see it in writing like that, but let's talk. And
yeah,
you were right there, man.
You've got there. And you've got about an hour and a half of my video to go through.
And just imagine, when you're in these matchups, your scores can literally be 1 or 2 points less than the person you're going against, and it could still, unfortunately, put you on a 3-0.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that your course was not great. I mean, look at all the matchups that we had to just go through with the World Cup of Design, and the judges having to make a choice between some of those courses. I mean, it literally is like choosing your favorite child, and you can't split them in half. So, never. I don't think anybody should feel bad about their matchups in this entire competition. But
yeah,
sometimes it happens.
Mayday makes a great point there. The Shoots versus Strathlorn, totally. All right, so we're tied after 4. We're coming down the home stretch. Match 5, the battle of the best logo in the game against my favorite name was Goshawk Dunes and El Lobo de las Bardenas. Just fun to say that word.
Yeah, that Goshawk logo looks like a young adult's thriller book that I would pick up from Barnes and Noble.
Mm-hmm. It would be Cole's here, but yeah,
a nice series there.
Yeah, and again,
written by like J.K. Rowling or something. Is that what you mean? Or no, that's Harry Potter, isn't it?
Right up there with my Harry Potter.
Another. I mean, I'm gonna be a broken record here. Oh, sorry. Charlie, you're here. Let me think. I don't know what you guys listen to music on now. Crummy internet connection, I guess. Anyways, yeah, tough matchup. Again, kind of some contrasting styles here. Required multiple plays again. I think we might have changed our minds a couple times when we were talking to each other. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, J-Ray.
Again, it was fun playing these back to back because of the stylistic changes, going from one environment to the other. You had Goshawk, which had the kind of autumn style to it with the different colored trees and the nice, the long brown grasses in the wasty dunes area. And then you kind of go to a more secluded, maybe a bit tropical desert feel with the the bushes and the kind of tropical trees, and it kind of was a nice way to judge the courses because it kind of made you reset your thinking. If you are trying to judge 2 courses and they're very similar looking, you almost maybe have a chance to lose some detail because things look similar or feel similar, and at the end you're going, wait, was that on that course or was I thinking about the other course? But with this one, you didn't really have that problem. You knew what you were talking about when you were talking about El Lobo, or you knew what you were talking about when you were talking about Goshawk. So I enjoyed my playthrough of both of them, and I thought, again, a lot like Honu and Remanent, these were 2 very realized environments that these designers built their courses in.
Yeah, and I'll just piggyback on that to kind of say that what was neat about this matchup is that when you have one that's in sort of a dune setting, you're looking at land movement to build a lot of your interest within the golf course. Planting obviously very important in that setting, and then with El Lobo in a desert environment, once again you're requiring a lot from sculpting and land movement to give you the feel of the golf course. Your sight lines are going to be more important in both courses where you're requiring that much in a sort of overall flat. I know they weren't flat, but an overall flat environment versus something that's massively has elevation change like a Catoctin mountain or something. So you look at both courses and the planting, the sculpting, and sort of how you get that ground movement throughout the course. That's going to be what keeps your interest throughout these 2 courses. And for me, one just did it just slightly better than the other.
Yeah, and for me too. And again, just 2 quite different golf courses, which, to be honest, I appreciated because, like J-Ray said, it made it easy to remember which one was which. I don't think we ever had any where it was like 2 North American tournament courses or, whatever, 2 tropical courses, or there was always quite a distinction between the two, which was cool, which made it easy to remember the 2 courses, but then made it difficult to judge because you had to kind of decide which one you liked better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might have been different if you'd had like a Los Torres and an El Lobo matchup.
Yeah.
Where you're getting 2 kind of similar looks together, but it was fun how these matchups kind of shook out, where each one was very distinctive from the other one that you're playing.
Yeah, for sure. What's the poll saying?
5-3, Goshawk over El Lobo from chat.
Okay. Well, when we batted this all around, we got 2-1 for El Lobo. So close in chat, close for us too.
El Lobo de las Bardenas.
El Lobo de las Bardenas. So much fun to say.
So I see Trail Ducker put something in there, and the clubhouses didn't really factor in to our judging in any major form, other than it would be part of the aesthetic or environmental category.
Yeah.
But I got to go with you on that one, Trail Ducker. The attention to detail on, well, really all 12 of these courses, I was so impressed with the attention to detail. You look at the rock formations on Hardstone and sort of the plot movement on Hardstone and things like that. You look at the city environment of like a Honu. You look at, so anyway, what you said about the clubhouse and sort of the practice area and everything in El Lobo, I was just like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this has nothing to do with this contest, but in the dam, we're looking at El Lobo pitch and putt for next season on the Dirty Uncle Mafia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that was another cool addition for sure. Okay, so after 5 matches, we're at 95-80 for Greenskeepers. Last match, and remember when I said there was 2 matches that I saw, and I went, oh boy, this was the other one. We've got Silverfern, which New Zealand got the Maori culture to it on an island. Very cool attention to detail. Really felt like you were where you were supposed to be. And you've got Schwarzwald, the kind of more Bavarian theme, in the Bavarian mountains. All the course stuff fit both of them very well. I thought it was really interesting for Silverfern, like New Zealand. They are the All Blacks. They wear black in every sporting event they play in. And then that happened to work very nicely with the Barbarian colors. So we had a lot of black and white stuff going on out there. Schwarzwald, a lot of Bavarian style cabins throughout the course. And they wasn't right in your face either. You would kind of notice them as you went through and be like, oh, hang on, let me go have a look at this. It was really an interesting matchup for me. I liked both courses quite a bit, and it was just a fine-tooth comb at the end for me.
Yeah, I'll let you run anchor on this one, J-Ray, so I'll go real quick and just say that, this one was hard. This one was really hard. It was almost as hard as the Remanent one with Honu. It was Honu, yeah. And it's just, again, luck of the draw, how the courses matched up. There might have been easier choices if they had randomly been matched up differently, but these two got matched up, and worthy opponents, both of them. And it was just a 12-round fight between these two courses the whole way, because I gotta be honest, I loved them both.
Yeah,
I don't have a bad thing to say about them. I loved them both.
It was 12 rounds, and both of them were in the hospital at the end of it because they both beat each other up pretty good.
Yeah.
It was. I apologize to both Cy and Graham if you come to me afterwards and you want my notes on your courses, because these were the 2 courses that I had the least amount of notes on, because once I started playing them, whatever minor details I may have nitpicked were washed away by just how immersed I was in playing my rounds. And it really says a lot when a judge can just kind of put down their pen, put down their notes, and just play and have fun doing it. And the second thing I want to say is, whatever the results of this matchup are, blame Wayne and Eric because this was a tie for me.
Yeah, J-Ray kitty catted out of this one.
Yeah, this was why the Honu and Remanent matchup was not the closest matchup, and that's because this one was a tie for me. I honestly tried to go back and go through and say, okay, what can I put in one category above the other? But every time I would try that, there would be something else from the other side that would put it a step ahead to where they were just tied at the end, no matter what I tried to add or subtract. And then it felt like I was, and then it felt like I was trying to find stuff, and I never want to do that. And so congratulations to both these. Great thing about Schwarzwald is the environment that it was going for. With that kind of Bavarian Germanic look, was accomplished in a boreal theme. A lot of people I think would see that and go, okay, I want to do German. I want to do Germany. Mountains. I'll go Swiss theme. But you can make a lot of different looks in a lot of different themes, and I thought it was great that you found this in a boreal theme. And the look of Silverfern. I got to play Silverfern in a society I'm in that has Silverfern as their course this week, and playing a couple of rounds on that one just for fun, without any kind of judging behind it, was a great experience too. So congrats to both these guys.
J-Ray's taking a beating in chat, and I love it. So if this ends up in a tie, what do we do? Like, they both get 17.5, I guess.
Well, they don't end up in a tie because I wasn't a pussycat on this one.
No, but if you and I had split our vote, then it would have been a tie.
Well, if frogs had wings, they wouldn't bump their ass when they hop.
True.
So,
anyways, we didn't have to worry about that.
I love you, J-Ray.
Schwarzwald got this one 2.5 to 0.5.
I stand by all decisions.
Yeah, okay. But I mean,
that's all you can do.
That
stand
tells
by
you.
Your...
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's your. I'm just spitballing. That's all you can do. Stand by your decision and live with the consequences.
But that does tell you how close this was, right? So and it was, and for me, it was a couple points. I think it wasn't much. So we're at 120 to 90 now, after the matches are done. So now we move on to the overall course score averages.
And remember, the individual scores matter. But even if you won the individual score category for your team, it does not mean that you necessarily won the overall. So when I put this prediction out, don't think it means one thing or the other coming out of the individual matchups. There's still the team concept to with the high average that you got to take into account here. So don't go wasting your money.
Right. Yeah, because that's what I was talking about earlier with the math. So now that you've seen the individual matchups, here's a real world example. Silverfern Run would have won against nearly every other course except for Schwarzwald. So, that's the kind of thing you got to keep in mind. So when you then take team scores, and I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other, I'm just trying to tell you how the math works. That means Silverfern Run had a very high score being built into the average for the Barbarian golf design team.
Yeah. And it was,
as did Honu.
Yes. And so keep that in mind. But I'm not going to keep you in much more suspense on this one. I'll give you, here's Greenskeeper's score.
Well, you have to for the prediction purposes.
Okay. Well, now they have.
It's not over yet.
They have a little bit. they have a little bit to work with now.
Now they have. Well,
so
the odds have changed.
Well, that's fine. It's my channel. I'll do what the hell I like. Thank you.
Entity battle.
That's right. So
this would be a great podcast next.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get feisty. That's what the people want, J-Ray. They say we're too nice to each other. Like we don't disagree enough.
They want Skip and Shannon.
Yeah, they do. I don't know if we'll be able to pull that off, but we'll get there. So when we took all of the scores for each course for the Greenskeepers Collective and came up with our average of all of our scores of all of the courses, we came up with 164. What that means is for Barbarian Golf Design to win this battle, they need 195 out of this. because right now they're 30 points behind. 194 would be a tie. That would be tragic. We need 195 for Barbarian.
Hey, people like kissing
which
their
is a
sisters,
difference
right?
of what, 31?
31.
Right? 31. And the actual difference was...
And so when all the math was done...
33, actually.
Huh?
I'm just looking at our... Yeah, never mind. Keep going.
Good talk.
It's mathematically possible is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
anyways,
it is.
In
it is.
book 5 of Harry Potter, what they were talking about.
No, stop. That's enough.
Trail Ducker is right, Luke Gamer. I am a nerd. Let's go.
So when all the scores were tabulated, all the 4s were carried and the 2s whatevered, the total overall score for Barbarian Golf Design was 157, which gives us a final result: Greenskeepers Collective 284, Barbarian Golf Design 247, which means Greenskeepers Collective wins. Congratulations, Greenskeepers Collective, but also congratulations to Barbarian Golf Design. 164 to 157, 7-point difference out of all of the courses. That's how close this was.
Yeah.
And
not a dud among them.
No. And if you had if the matchups had been different, there could have been a different result.
Absolutely.
If the courses had been matched up differently, there could have been a different result. It was
Let's
that
shake them up
close.
and do it again.
I'm sure I could go through and find a way that the matchup would have. I could find multiple ways that the Barbarians would win this.
Yeah, for sure.
If we just switched around the order.
Yep.
So
scoring system wasn't perfect. Even the 3 judges of us we would refine that in the future. If we ever did it again, we would refine some things. But what was perfect is 12 good courses that gave us a lot to talk about over the last 2 weeks as we judged this. And I think we all 3 stand behind this decision, even though we do believe that the Barbarian Golf Design Group did a phenomenal job as well.
Yeah.
For my final comments here specifically about this course, I wanted to say, I was really interested in this competition even before, being a judge, because I think there's a lot of designers out there that need and deserve validation outside of major TGC contests, outside of getting, a tour worthy or an approved course. And I think there's some people in the community that, maybe look down on some other portions of this community that don't have a lot of interaction on TGC. I won't call them, fringe groups or splinter groups, but there are people that congregate in places other than TGC or, streams and things like that. And they're not all unknown. They, there's a lot of overlap in those Venn diagrams, but to have a competition that is outside of, TGC's purview, even though, the results, the prizes, fortunately, are pretty cool prizes involved with TGC. I think to have a competition get this amount of exposure for some guys that may not have otherwise was a huge benefit to the community at large. And so thanks to everybody that put out these courses and kept the momentum going throughout the playthroughs and the judging and this, this final results show. Y'all deserve a commendation for that.
Yeah. We're not done with the results yet, though, boys and ladies, if PMB's here. We still have the individual results, and then I do have a special thanks page to go through. So we're going to go into the individuals. What I decided to do here was just do the top 3. Because I didn't want to rank 1 through 12 in here, and I figured top 3 makes sense. Okay. So basically what we did here again is we took our scores, we averaged our score between the 3 of us, and we ended up with this was our podium of the 12 courses. 3rd place was Honu, Kahaki. Wonderful course, wonderful environment.
He's an Avenger, isn't he? Kahaki?
You would know. With your purviews and Venn diagrams and Harry Potter and all this other stuff you're talking about.
Hey, jack of all trades, baby.
You know what they say about that?
True Renaissance man.
Master of none.
Master of none.
I'm a little good at a lot of bit.
Second place.
Congratulations, Honu.
Yes, great course. Great course. Canny Geordie lad too. Second place was Remanent. You might notice those two played off against each other in their match. So again, about matchups. That was a tough matchup. But receiving first place, the Mad F water painting, and going on to the schedule as for the next TGC Tour promotion event, we have... Any guesses? I did this actually, Axel. Thank you very much.
Well, you know, I missed a prediction. I should have made this a prediction. I'm sorry for everyone that's
all right.
Trying to double down their Moby bucks.
Bunch of 3L Lobos, a Schwarzwald.
I did not make these PowerPoint slides, Axel.
No,
don't put that on me.
This was me. Very simple. I'm not great at it. Remnant, Storm King, Storm King, Storm King. Yeah, Storm King did not win. Remnant was second, so that they're likely to be first. Okay, Glooch, no, and it wasn't Bouslier.
It wasn't Hallstatt either.
Wasn't Hallstatt
either.
The winner, the individual course champion, was Schwarzwald. Again, very close. Very close. In these top three, you had three fantastic golf courses that were fantastic in their own right. And it was just little tiny things here and there. You have tropical, kind of, it felt to me like a resort course, like where you would go to vacation and that's the course you're going to play. And you're out there to have fun. But it just nailed the look and it nailed the golf too. You've got Remnant, which I'm going to say to me is the most creative course in the game. And then you got Schwarzwald in the Bavarian Forest. It's just such a difficult choice to make between those three distinct, different environments and course styles. But congratulations to Graham. Your course will be on...
Glad.
Sorry?
I was going to say, I think you were just about to say it, but I'm glad Eric was able to pull some strings and get this course on a tour event, whatever the tour event was. But being on a promo tour is great because it's going to get the exposure and the plays that it deserves, and I think it's going to play well. So get out there and get to practicing, folks. Yeah, your course is about to get a bunch of plays on a promo event. Wonderful job to everybody. So here we get into the judging panel. As you guys already know that. It's Victory Lane Sports, J. Ray Gunn, and myself. We all have feedback available for you. Just reach out. With my videos, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on YouTube as unlisted, and I'll just send you guys the link for it. Be aware, I think the shortest one I did was an hour and 15, and the longest was an hour and a half, maybe slightly more than that. So excruciating detail. Point out
in your life you've been known to go long.
I know. Ask the X about that. But and the one thing I will tell you up front is I was looking at absolutely everything, so they might come across a little bit harshly. I don't mean for them to. I know it's tough for you guys to believe, but I really wanted to look at every single thing, and I wanted to give you guys as much feedback as I could. So, there's just a lot in there. And the other thing I'll tell you is, looking at it today, I might have slightly different opinions of each course. So feel free to contact me. You guys know how you can get a hold of me, and we can talk about things that maybe you don't agree with, or whatever it might be, because this was a pretty good slog in May to go through all this stuff. And opinions change over time, and opinions probably change after having talked to J. Ray and Eric as well. So
because we're right,
probably. And you guys have notes if available too, right?
Yeah.
I don't have written
Ignatius
notes.
thoughts?
No.
Okay. So J Ray has written notes he'd be happy to give you.
Well, I can't give them to you because they're actually handwritten, and I'm not scanning them in. But I'll give you the lowdown, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you're on PC and you want to add me on Steam, we'll play through your course together. It doesn't matter.
There you go.
We'll do whatever you need.
Cool.
Yeah, I was planning on doing recorded playthroughs, not on stream, just like recording them and putting them on YouTube private as well. But with my travel lately, I haven't had a chance to do that. So I don't have written notes, but I will be providing, that type of thing for whoever wants it.
Awesome. You lost over 50, Charlie. That's unfortunate, buddy. So yeah, there will be feedback available. Some of it's ready right now. Some of it might just take a little bit of time, but you'll get it. Special thanks. First of all, we want to thank Victory Lane Sports for stepping in, for running the contest, for keeping this thing going. Without Victory, we aren't sitting here today talking about these 12 great courses in this wonderful contest. So I'm sure I speak on behalf of all of the designers and everyone else that was interested in this and saying thank you for doing this, Eric.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
J-Ray, thank you for the artwork that you did. I know a lot of the logos were yours. And for judging and for all of the work that you've put into all of that as well, because having judged as well, I know how much time this takes. And so again, I'm sure I speak for everybody in thanking you for that.
I'm happy to be involved.
Daniel Romans, he was responsible for all of the videos. So for all the playthroughs, I had an introductory video. That was Daniel that did that. And then the video you guys saw at the beginning today, that was Daniel as well. Really cool stuff that he did. I was trying to do the video at the end, the introductory video for today, and I'm splicing this and that. And then I just reached out to him and said, and he's like, oh, I was going to do that. Just give me a minute. And here it is. It's like, oh, okay, there we go. So yeah, thanks for that, dude. Sai and Trashman, John, as the captains, thank you guys for reaching out to me. And then just the Barbarians design group and Greenskeepers as a whole. Thank you guys all for your support. It's been a wonderful month working with you guys. The channel has really benefited. Both this and my YouTube channel have both really benefited from you guys. All the retweeting you guys are doing, all the mentions you guys are doing on Twitter, all the time you guys are spending in stream, all the comments and everything. I really do appreciate everything you guys have done. And I hope that I have been able to at least get close to giving back what you guys have given to me. And a final thank you is for all the designers. Thank you, first of all, for putting yourself out there. I know how difficult that is to put yourself out there to be judged. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for sticking with this when it looked like it might not happen. And thank you again to the captains for finding a way to make it happen. And then just thank you for giving us 12 courses to play and 12 very good courses to play. It's a bit of a cliche that the community is the people who win in this, but it's also true. Anytime we have contests like this, the people who play this game are the winners because we get more courses that we get to play. And it's the community, it's the designers of this community that keep this game going. If we didn't have new courses to play, how many of us would still be playing right now? So I really appreciate all of the work you guys put into this. I appreciate you putting yourself out there. Like I said, make yourself vulnerable, opening yourself up to criticism, and create and basically making such a great contest. And I thank you guys all for including me in it, and I mean that sincerely. Any things you guys want to have to say? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you did phenomenal there. So not a whole lot to add. I will say, J Ray Gun really stepped up. When I decided to take on this contest outside of TGC Tours and just add that into my schedule, I contacted J Ray and said, "Hey, buddy, I need a poster made for this." And he had a million other things going on at the same time, and that poster you keep seeing on Twitter and different places. That was J Ray, and it's not a 5-minute job. I mean, that is an awesome poster that he put together, and just shows you the quality of work that he's capable of and what he can do. And so, we we got all the mileage we could out of that poster for sure.
We did.
He stepped up and then offered to judge, and just having a third judge for even a small contest is really important because that way it's not even numbers. It's not my opinion versus Wayne's opinion. It's you have that third voice in there too, and it really balances everything out. I think the captains did a great job, Simon and John, and just they were really fair, really cooperative, and I mean, maybe it's a little gushy, but I've grown to really respect these two syndicates because they did not take this for granted one bit. No. I mean, these 12 courses, I loved them. I looked at the details they put in, the little things like the clubhouses and the rock walls and the different, the plantings and just everything that they went through showed that they really cared about this contest. And then you go into the promos and the stuff that Daniel Romans, I hope I'm getting that right, was doing, and the tweeting, and it just shows you how invested they were, and that made it fun for the three of us too, because we knew we weren't just wasting our time on this because it was really invested. And then Wayne, I mean, yeah, it's benefited your channel, but I mean, it's not because you haven't done a lot of work, on your end too. So you're putting out great YouTube content. It's polished. It's got, it looks good, and it's organized. And I think I am more than happy to support a content creator who's doing the right things and supporting the right people along the way. So, and the community obviously, but hopefully everyone takes a positive from this, not only the contestants and the community, but PGA Tour 2K family at large, and even people who say, oh, well, there's another couple of cliques being formed. I would love it if we could just get past all of that BS, and just say, look, I mean, this design community is 300 to 400 to 500 people large in terms of people who could put out quality tournament courses. So all of that other stuff is just noise, I got nothing but love for the Keg, for the Barbarians, for the Greenskeepers, and anyone else who wants to take this hobby to the next level and create content and create good courses. I got nothing but love for you. So no shame in that. I mean, Andre's been doing that for years, and there's a reason that people look to Crazy Canuck 1985. It's because he's been through all the haters and all the different people who want to say you're doing this or you're doing that. But guess what? He's adding value to the community 99% more than the 1% of people that want to hate on it. And so there will be people who would detract from stuff like this. And I'm just going to say they're the vocal minority, because the community and the designers and the players and the game at large benefits from all this kind of stuff. So click or not, friend group or not, whatever, I enjoy all of you.
Yeah, I think this contest is 100% positive. Period. I think it's a great advertisement for Andre. I think it's great for the community as a whole to have 12 people this invested in creating great golf courses. That's what this was, and how that's anything but a positive is completely beyond me. So again, thank you for including me in this. J Ray?
I'll try to keep mine short because I know we have some follow-up interviews and talks after this, but obviously thanks to Victory for taking this over when it was I think there were going to be 12 people that were looking at disappointment and not having because I know the work had already started and some of it was probably near completion when it looked like the contest wasn't going to happen. So thanks to Victory for stepping up. Wayne Ameobi, obviously, for the work that you've done with your playthroughs, and both of you again for, I think, matching the level of seriousness that the designers took in putting their courses together and getting them contest ready. I don't think anybody mailed it in at all from the design side or from the judging side. And I think if the future goes where there's a lot more of these design groups that pop up, I think the more the merrier, because these design groups were never established to try to keep people out. They were established for people that want to bounce ideas off some guys, get some plays on their courses because they're trying to get better, exchange of ideas, open communication, things like that, which is always the opposite of what an exclusive group really wants to do. So,
what a great way to put
reach out to some of these guys.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put that.
Yeah, for sure.
Reach out to some of these guys. If you're looking for inclusion, I can't guarantee it because I'm not a member, and if not, grab a group of friends that you like and say, hey, you don't even have to make it anything official. Just be like, hey, you ever got a course that you want played and looked at, shoot it my way. And, that's how things grow from, individual designers just kind of wondering how they can take that next step to, people kind of coming together as a team and putting something out there that can blow some people away. Also want to thank everyone for not asking me to do a logo or a video for their individual courses. Thank you very much. I would have loved to have done it. But it's nice to have that off my schedule. Again, congratulations to Graham, congratulations to the Greenskeepers, but also, a special shout out to the Barbarians and all the work that they put in. Don't ever think that because you're not, wearing a pretend medal around your neck that Raygun and Victory and Ameobi put around you, that your hard work is not validated or appreciated. There's not a single designer in this contest that shouldn't walk away going, I put forth a good effort and I am appreciated.
Yeah.
So I hope you all feel like that regardless of the results.
And I think my
100%.
last comment will be, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with next, because the courses are only going to get better. So with you guys working together, it's exciting to see what comes next. I've already seen in chat talk of a rematch. Awesome. Would love to see that. But what I was planning on doing, sorry, Eric.
No, I was gonna say, I wish I had more time.
Okay.
Not just today. I'm saying I wish I had more time in my life. For the fact that I would love to collaborate with any of these guys. Certain ideas with some of them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then not only that, I'd love to see rather than a rematch, because I know some other people have been added to each of these groups. I'd love to see a collab contest rematch where the Barbarians take, let's say 10 of their guys and partner them together to have 5 collab courses, and the Greenskeepers take 10 of their guys, partner them together to have 5 collab courses, and almost do the same thing over. So the rematch would be a collab rematch. I'd be into that.
Idea. I like that.
And I'd be willing to step up and run it with these two guys again if that was something that. But why I say I wish there was more time, because I know now all of these guys, right, are in the CC contest. They're going to be eligible to be drawn for Dream Team contest in TGCTours. I mean, they've now made names for themselves, and they were anyway, but now they've continue to make names for themselves, and it's just part of the process of just. I'd love to work with any of them, but it's just not enough time in a day sometimes.
Yeah, and
Romans does bring up a good point that a lot of these guys are on, or Eastwood actually, Alan. That a lot of these guys are on consoles, so maybe it's not
it's tough.
Okay, possible, but an idea like that. I mean, how these guys, they know how to run their own design groups, but I think getting more involvement and having these contests come out, I think is a great thing.
Yeah, okay.
We'll think it through. We'll think things through, but I mean, for another day. This has just been a great contest. I just couldn't appreciate everybody more.
And let's continue the celebration. Sai, are you ready? Jump into Discord. Let's have a chat with you. The Barbarians captain. Oh,
talk.
Daniel's got to go. All right, Daniel. Have a good one. Charlie's offering switches for everyone. That'll work well. That would
true collab.
That'd be tilted in your favor, Charlie, because you're the only one that knows how to design on the damn thing.
How we doing, boys? Can you hear me all right?
Hey, Sai, what's up, man?
Sigh.
Not the result you were looking for, Sai, but maybe you can just give us your thoughts on the contest as a whole, the result, everything.
Well, to be honest, I mean, obviously it's disappointing for us as a team, but 12 amazing courses, 12 amazing people that we've all spoke to each other. We've come on your streams and other streams, and it's just been a good experience for us all. We're all trying to get better at designing. We're all trying to get better, a bit more exposure for us all, and this has given us the chance to do so. So the fact that I think the first match up you had sort of 50 people in your stream, Wayne, and you've had nearly up to 50 again today.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that's that was the whole part of it at the start. When Eric and I started talking, was to gain some exposure and use you. Not only to to promote the contest itself, but obviously to elevate what you and Jay, Eric do. So we've all got to thank you.
I think what ended up coming out of it, which was great for all of us, is I think everybody won. Right? I think it was a win-win, a mutually beneficial for all of us, which I really appreciate, and it's the kind of partnership I like to be part of. I like it when everybody is getting something out of it and everybody benefits. So that was really cool. Was there any strategy in how you lined up your courses, or did you just kind of throw it at the wall?
Well, it's difficult, really. I mean, from what it seems, the result could have been different if I'd have left it as it was. We did talk about it. I wanted to make sure, I wanted to start strong and start with Alan, which is what we did, and then sort of mix it up through it all. And bring myself up. I wanted to put myself at the end, hopefully to sort of just even if it was already won or already lost at the time, just to try and put a little hammer at the end there. But
yeah.
Obviously putting myself up against Graham, I was always it was obviously I never knew about it, but I was happy of obviously Graham's had a lot of success recently, and he's just had his course on the primer event at Roe Deer Run, which we all enjoyed.
Oh, that's right.
Got me promoted 4 places up
nice.
to CCH, so that was difficult. You say that, I'll probably never make a cut again.
Yeah, you definitely played a captain's inning there in the anchor role. You just ran into Jamie Anderson in his absolute prime, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I enjoyed Graham's course. I mean, what surprised me the most, I think, is that neither of us got tour worthy. That is what it is. It's gone in the past now, and I mean,
Wait,
Eric,
what?
Eric, neither of us got tour worthy.
Silverfern and Schwarzwald?
Yeah, neither of us.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I did reach out to Ben, and he's given me some feedback and stuff. But it's water under the bridge now. I mean, at the end of the day, we've got to, the most important thing for me, and I think the most important thing for all the guys in my team. We talked after I had one of my courses on tour. If you remember, back in February or March, whenever it was, Eric, and we talked about it afterwards. And I just wanted to make sure that I'd improved from that. And that's all I cared about, and that everyone else had a chance to do the same thing. And I think we all have. I mean, you've got, guys in my team, I mean, obviously Alan's been around for a while and has had several tour events already. But guys like Sohn and Matt that come to us before the event, during the draft, when it was still down to the other guy, we took them in. And, we've got Matty from a guy that was barely getting, he's had a couple of courses that weren't approved, and we sat and worked with him, and I worked with him really, really closely on Tarakoi, and it's obviously he got his first tour worthy, and it was on Platt recently, so that's my favourite thing out of all of this process. We sat down and discussed a lot of things during it. Obviously we couldn't do any betas during this, which is fine. But we sat and discussed it with each other on how to try and get the best out of all of us to give us the best product. So, and obviously Goshawk Dunes for Matt got another tour worthy, and it's going to be on the beer league soon. So
nice.
That's good enough for me. I mean, regardless of whether we won or lost, I said this to all my guys all the way through. We are gracious in defeat. We are gracious in when we win. So the most important thing is the 500 or 600 designers and the God knows how many players that play it enjoy our courses, and we all go again. A lot of our lads are in the CC contest, and obviously all of the Greenskeeper guys are. And I'm unfortunately can't do it this time. As we all know. Well, you guys know why.
Yeah.
I'll still be here, and we'll still be here, making sure that everyone gets the very, very best out of the CC. And I know Matt's going to run a brilliant. He's going to run a brilliant competition. There's 50, 60 guys in there that are going to get the exposure that they deserve. They can all see what's just come before them with the National Treasure courses and the World Cup of Design, and we all know now where we need to get to next. Part of the reason I introduced Celtic Wolf and the Honey Badger into the Barbarians recently also was to give us some more experience. And those guys are absolutely smashing it in the National Treasure at the moment. I'm really, really, really proud of them. So, brilliant to the Greenskeepers, Daniel, John, all the boys. I mean, the Remanent, a fantastic course as well. And good luck to them. I mean, obviously, I know Charlie's. I think he's announced it in chat already that little Charlie's joined them. We've had a lot of discussions recently, and he's a great guy. He's great for the community to have a guy like him in it. And I think they're all trying to pitch in to get him a PC so we can all start collabing with him. So a tenner each.
I'll pitch in for that.
Betting, whether we're betting on these, let's get Charlie a PC. I think that's going to be the new Barbarians and Greenskeepers team. That's what we should do from the channel. Get Charlie a PC. We'll start it off now. # get Charlie a PC.
Yeah, I'll donate to that. Well, yeah, Celtic, his National Treasure course really rose to the occasion.
It did.
So I do want to say one thing to Sai, because I think he deserves a lot of credit for this, and it's an example that I know Ameobi and J-Ray have talked about, or will talk even more about it on their podcast, and which is fantastic, by the way. I think you should all subscribe to it. Is that I had one of my, I would say, more immature moments on TGCTours when one of Sai's courses was on Kinetic, and went on Twitter and was like, I didn't like this or that or the other, and didn't really realize it was Sai's course, but ran my little hissy fit, and Sai could have contacted me and been like, you know what, just shut up, you're a jerk, whatever. He did the exact opposite. He contacted me and said, hey, I'd love to hear your feedback, let me know what I can do to improve, and we had a cordial, very good conversation about it, and hopefully I apologized for pointing out some things that were irritating, even though I was just a bad player. But the course was good, on Kinetic. So, but he wanted to improve, and so I tried to give him some things that I thought could have been done differently, or in a put together in a different playability. And he approached that the way that I would prefer every designer approach this design community, which is the fact that, when you get a review from a Crazy Canuck or an Ameobi or a B101 or Mad F or any of those guys, are the reviewers. We have a great review team, Maddie from Canada and T Petro and on and on and on. Don't just be like, hey, screw you, I did what I did because it's what I thought was the right thing and you're wrong. No, do it the other way and say, okay, tell me what could be done differently, and then go out and make a Silverfern run. That's what you do. Mm-hmm. That's the way to combat becoming a better designer. And I give Sai a lot of credit because that just shows a lot of character. It shows a lot of maturity, and he went out and made Silverfern run, which I just told you guys earlier. I'm on record as saying I really loved it. Yeah. Kudos to you, Sai. I think think that speaks volumes for what you're really trying to do with your Barbarian group, and I support it.
That's it. That's all it is. That is the absolute key thing that, you know, ask any of them. We have a Discord, and you know, there's people outside of the group as well. You know, if you want to speak to someone, speak to Scoop. You know, we've been emailing all day, and I'm trying to help him with his first ever course. You know, we're going through it together. He's not part of the Barbarians, but I know he's obviously a trusted online friend of us all. You know, he follows everybody. He's always available on the screens for everybody. So I reached out to him and I said, look, you know, maybe I'll be able to help you. Maybe I'm actually a better person for giving advice than I'm a designer, you know. So it's just a case of sitting there and giving the time that I have to others as well. And that's what the group's all about, really. It's not about who wins or who loses. It's just enjoying a game together. We're all here for the same reasons. I'm certainly not here for money or fame.
You're not going to find any here.
Not going to find it here.
I don't want it. It's just about, you know, having, you know, a few people to talk to. You know, that's it. Just good fun. Just damn good fun.
Awesome.
Cool, man. Great job.
I think you got a great approach to all this, and you know, the only thing that I would say, just in response to everything that you've put out there, is, you know, high tides raise all ships, and so I think the more people that we can get involved in communities like this, like your design syndicate, like the Greenskeepers, or, you know, just the community at large, collaborating more, you know, as friendly competition where we're each looking to improve, and we're putting our courses and whatever we're doing, we're stacking them up against others with the understanding that we're all just trying our best out there, and we're all trying to get better at the things that we enjoy. And so there, in the end, you know, even though, yeah, there's a winner of the contest, you know, everyone, and it's kind of California youth sports to say this, but everyone is a winner in the end if you've done your best and put out something that is, you know, even incrementally better than your last go around. And I think it starts with that collaborative effort that you've obviously, you know, had with your group and the leadership that you give to them.
And so I just personally, I just want to say thank you. I think it was you and Eric, but you specifically reaching out to me on Twitter about this contest and bringing me in. I've had a blast doing it. It's been a lot of fun. Never mind what it's done to the channel. I've just really enjoyed the camaraderie and just I've enjoyed watching everything on Twitter, all the excitement that both teams have had. And just being a small part of that has been really awesome. So I just want to thank you for including me in that and for reaching out to me the way you did.
No problem at all. You're welcome. Very well.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts. That was great.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, chat, and I'll see you all soon.
Thanks. Yep, we look forward to seeing what's coming next, man.
Thanks, Thanks, Barbarians.
Alrighty. John, are you available?
He said a minute ago that he's at work and not able to get on.
Okay. Oh well. That's sorry to hear that. Is there somebody who would like to speak on behalf of the Greenskeepers that wants to jump in, or do you want me just to move on? I'll let you guys choose.
Hey, are we doing alt shot today?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we're doing Design Syndicate battle. I do have some ideas, but yeah, Graham, are you able to jump in? Because I actually have an idea for you, anyways.
Good talk.
Yeah. Well, there's sometimes a bit of a delay, right? I mean,
just, you know, that's my thing. Terry's thing, you know.
Yes, you, Graham.
Me?
Yeah. Sure, if you can.
Now?
If you can. If you can't, that's fine. But if you can, that'd be great.
Is he in your Discord?
No, I'll give it to him when he says he can. Well, I'll give it to him now, actually.
Charlie.
We could do Charlie too, because he's made an announcement. We can let him make the announcement. It's a long way to Newcastle, yeah. From here it is. Damn right about that. Oh, your internet's down? Okay, never mind. No, get in here, Charlie. Come on.
Chat.
Oh, that's okay. Matt F's voice still cracks on Discord too. It's
yeah,
fine.
That's right. No, I don't want you anywhere near this, Axel. Thank you, though.
Swinglish.
Come on, how way, Charlie lad, get stuck in like.
Who wants to congratulate the Greenskeepers from their team? Anybody? Speak now. Trail Ducker said he could.
Trail Ducker can? Yeah, whoever, jump in here. That's a good point, Alan. We need his parents to give him permission.
All right, Trail Ducker's hopping on.
Beautiful. So yeah, in case you guys missed that,
Hello.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, this is Trail Ducker or Tyson.
Tyson, how are you now?
Doing all right.
So the result you guys were looking for. Any thoughts you guys have on the contest, the result, anything else? No pressure that you're speaking for the whole of the Greenskeepers Collective, including the prodigy himself, Charlie.
Yeah. I know now that he's part of the group, there's way more pressure. But no, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was my first contest ever. I think it was most of ours. And it was, I mean, randomly, it was Miles messaged me in the forum and really liked my second course and was like, hey, want to join this? And I saw he had like 3 posts. So I sent Victory and Matt F a message like, hey, is this guy a real person? And they were like, yeah, he just likes to do things through Facebook. And then joined and met all these people and was a little intimidated when I saw like some of the good courses that just came out on the completed courses thread, like Alan's Spain course. I can't remember how to pronounce the name. And Sykes kind of Para ED course. I was like, oh man, I'm with these guys. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was the last pick in the draft because nobody knew who the hell I was. But I was real grateful to be part of it, and me and the greenskeeper in our little chat got real friendly, and then eventually they invited me at the end of the competition to join the group officially. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we all are grateful to Eric for picking the competition up when Miles had to back out, because at that point we all had a little over a month, I think, working on our courses, and we got to put it out, and we got the exposure and the all the fame that comes with it, which has been great.
Hey, you may not be able to speak to everyone else, but I did wonder what sort of collaboration there may have been in the group when talking about what kind of courses you were going to put out. I mean, were there talks about, hey, I'm going to do this theme so that there weren't, many repeats in terms of the environments or things like that?
Well, originally it was a wheel that gave us our themes, and you would be matched up with the other person that got your theme, and they did it based on the picks. So originally I was matched up with Sohn because we were the last 2 waiting at the dodgeball line, and we both got Boreal, and I think Sohn switched up. Basically, when Eric took over, he allowed us at that point to switch your theme if you wanted to. And I think the reason why Graham was last was because he completely started his over from new, where some people just switched the theme in the like on their course they're building. I stuck with Boreal at that point because I kind of hit the ground running, and especially because I was like, oh, I'm gonna do all this rock work, and then I was like, holy shit, why did I decide to do that? But
been there before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Best laid
Yeah.
plans.
Yeah, so originally that was
there was a few things
setup.
there was a few constraints, honestly, Tyson, I didn't like from the original rules, and so I asked Sai if it was okay if I just eliminated them. You know, and even some of the other ones like the retaining wall, you know, that can be a forced concept if you're not careful.
Yeah.
I thought for the most part all 12 of you guys did a pretty good job, and I think we were even kind of lenient on, you know, expanding that to be like, you know, if it's retaining earth, it counts as a retaining wall, right, around the green. That's kind of what the idea of it is. But your interpretation of that could be a little bit looser than everyone has to use the wooden retaining wall, you know, type of thing. Because I like contests that have some ideas like that, but then some of them can just be so forced that it ends up ruining the course.
Yeah, and the original concept that Miles had that he at least backed off was we also were going to spin for the like type of course. So there was going to be a second wheel with like like a dunes and
so you get
trying to think of what
dunes?
other ones. Yeah, and then he was like, okay, like if we get a crazy one, you can like switch it up, and but yeah, he had like a whole like type of one that you spun too, but then he thought that was a little too crazy.
It is
that.
Yeah, it is.
It could produce a mess.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I can't wait to do like a Swiss sandbelt course.
So Tyson, did I hear right that your batting order, you had Graham in the anchor position because he had to start over and basically needed to be last?
I don't know if he completely started over. That might have been it, but our batting order was kind of, at least for our team, was based on availability of the courses a bit. Like I had mine, I kind of powered through mine real quick, especially when National Treasure was announced. Then I like very basically neglected in real life work, even though I was logged on, and
what? That sounds familiar.
And kind of blasted through this course to get started on National Treasure, and then picked it up like a few weeks before the published deadline. But so that meant I was pretty ready to be the first one, and then that's how we kind of set it up. Where Graham needed a lot more time to work on his. He also was in that other Facebook competition that
he was. That's right.
People from this group was so
the one with the 7,000 yard limit, right?
Yeah. Or run
river, was it?
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Really good course, by the way.
What is this?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, and I remember Graham was even like he was working, I think, a lot the last week, and what came out I was pretty amazed by. It was a great course, very deserving to be the top one in this competition.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough for us. But
For those of us just joining, something I learned from listening to a lot of radio is sometimes you got to reset because Terry Grayson is lost in chat, and so we're chatting with Tyson Staub, member of the Greenskeepers, the winning syndicate of the Design Syndicate battle. Here, John Burris, the captain of the Greenskeepers, was not available, so Tyson's taking us through some of the intricacies of his side of the design competition.
Okay.
And that's where we kick it back to Wayne.
Yeah.
Also, Terry, it's Friday, and I don't know how much we need to set up for Terry to know like where he is at any moment.
It's almost June.
Yeah,
you're safe.
So any other thoughts that you have, Tyson, about? Well, actually, I do have a question. How do you feel about Lion's Mouth par 3s with massive ridges on them?
I think they get a bad rap, you know.
Yeah. No, but seriously, any last thoughts from the Greenskeepers about this contest, about basically about anything? It's your floor, your guys' contest.
Yeah, like I said, it was a really great first contest experience for me. I as much as the person who put it together made some mistakes, I'm very thankful that he put this group together and put this competition together at the beginning, and extremely, again, thankful that Eric took it over when he had to back out and put it through the finish line, especially with National Treasure going on at the same time. I bet that was a lot of work. And yeah, thanks again, Wayne, for playing all of them on the stream and having those 2 weeks devoted to it. It was a lot of fun, and thanks everybody that's played and given us feedback on the courses. Because yeah, we're all somewhat early-ish, mid-ish in our phase of being part of this community and designing courses. So getting all of that feedback and ways that we can continue to grow has been awesome.
Cool.
I did have a question specifically for Tyson, if it just real quick. Your course has two plays, two ways you can play it, right? Two loops, which is a unique design choice that you don't normally see from contest courses. You know, not that people play contest courses safe per se. You know, contests are usually a great way to branch out and try something new to kind of set yourself apart. But what did you think going into your first design contest? Did you already have this concept in mind, and so you stuck with it regardless of the scope, or did you think, okay, I'm going to kind of set my course outside of the others and maybe have this unique aspect to it?
Am I crazy? No, but it actually was. So when I
Digital Bunny has done it before.
Oh, he did?
Uh-huh.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know if anybody had done it for a contest. In my mind, it was just when I made my first course, and it had a lot of errors in it, and starting on my second course that became Ghost Town Canyon, I actually drew out ideas for 3 different courses, and one of them is I think I'm going to do for my CC, and then the other one was Ghost Town Canyon, and then the other one was this reversible course, and all I did was I did the routing for it, and I just really liked the loop and wanted to do a course. So I was kind of based on what I got in the wheel, I was going to try to do one of those. And the reversible could be kind of any theme. And then I have another one in mind that if I would have gotten a certain theme that I might do later. And when I got Boreal, I was kind of looking in this kind of what would work in that. And that's when I really honed in on what's the course? Now I'm spacing on the biggest like aesthetic, the Tiger Woods course that I kind of modeled it after Paynes Valley. And from that decided, okay, I could do this reversible in this way, and drew up all the holes. And as I was drawing them, was trying to think of both directions that you would be coming from, and then put it in the designer. And what I did learn from my first 2 publishes was how to have a little more flexibility, and that was really needed for this concept, was that flexibility, because I was a bit too rigid in my drawings on my first 2 courses, like trying to emulate what you draw, and in the designer when you're actually doing the work and moving the plot and stuff like that, you kind of need a little more flexibility than I was giving myself. So maybe it was a lot to bite like a lot to bite off on my first competition.
Hey, it was a bold strategy, Cotton.
But yeah, but I'm satisfied with what I produced. And yeah, I mean, I already got great feedback from people and saw some things that you get tunnel vision, so things that you didn't notice or weren't paying attention to that I would do a little bit differently. But still, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad people like them. And I know Crazy, I'm so thankful Andre put Infinity up on his society. That high praise, even though I don't know if he ever played it. He said he looked at the pictures and it looked cool. But
That's about all you get from Andre sometimes.
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah. But I know the course designer on Facebook has a 2-week tournament that they put both loops on. So yeah, just having all this, and anybody who's played, I think my first 3 sees the growth, and those who've played my newest one probably see growth from there too. Just having this type of positive feedback as well as learning from my first 3 courses has been awesome.
That's what you want.
That's right. It was very cool. And your new National Treasure course is fantastic, by the way. Anybody
Everyone
here?
play?
Yeah,
everyone play Valle de Lua?
Yeah, if you haven't played it, you need to. Just don't put it on very fast greens. Just leave it default. You'll be fine. But
Not for those.
it's a great golf course. And if you want to see a playthrough of it, it's on YouTube right now.
Oh my!
This is good, wasn't
Shameless
it?
plug.
Oh well. Imagine plugging your own
It is
stuff
your
on your own channel. Yeah, I know.
And Victory, I already mentioned it to you, but when you do get around to playing the National Treasure courses and you're on mine, go to the top left corner of the plot, and there's a very pandering Easter egg for you.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh.
right. There's a great Easter egg there.
Easter eggs. I'm not above pandering Easter eggs.
It's a beautiful Easter egg. You'll like it, Eric. You will. It's great.
Very cool.
Cool. Thanks, Tyson. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, great job.
Okay. Well, I think that pretty much puts the wraps on the results chart part of the